Hello and what is up guys, Rye here and welcome back to some more automation and BeamNG.Drive. Today we're going to build a sports car, but not just any sports car, of course. We're building a Kei car. Kei cars are quite popular. There's some pretty popular 1990s sporty kind of Kei cars. The Suzuki Cappuccino is one of the awesome ones, the Honda Beat, etc. So what we're going to do today is design our own Kei car, but this thing's going to be a bit different. It's got to be special in one way or another. It's going to have a Boxer 4. It's going to have a Boxer 4-cylinder engine, as well as it's going to rev very, very, very high. I'm talking about 15,000 or so RPM. And how we do that is, of course, modify the car in BeamNG. So it's going to sound great. We're going to hop into the build here. So partial aluminum to start. This is going to be an expensive car, for a Kei car that is. Front engine, longitudinally mounted, double wishbone and double wishbone. I think we can go maybe multi-link, but double wishbone is totally fine. So the year's 1992. This is like the most recent-ish, or one of the most recent Kei car standards. So 660 cc's is what's allowed. We'll go for like a 4-valve, all aluminum, very, very small engine. It's gonna rev very high, 660 cc's. It's more than enough cc's for what we want to do today. The goal of this car, it's only gonna make, 63 horsepower, which is a Kei car. 660, 659 cc. Is it 660 exactly? I think that's fine. So all cast for now. Now, it doesn't really matter what pistons we use because this thing's going to rev incredibly high regardless. It's going to rev very high. Just a high cam profile. No turbochargers needed for us. Multi-point single. A race intake maybe? But performance intake, yeah. Regular fuel. And just like single exhaust. Do we need dual or single? And we'll just do like just a bit of things here and there. This thing already revs pretty high. We're going to need to increase the quality of the top end though, because it's going to rev maybe even plus 10. It's going to be very expensive, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Okay. We'll go for fully forged internals. 12,000 RPM is totally, it's totally fun. I wouldn't worry about that at all. A little bit of stress. That's okay. But we are making pretty good power. I mean, 63. We're actually making like perfect Kei car power actually, which is kind of nice. Now, the plus quality is actually not helping that much. We'll just do plus 5, plus 7. Plus 7, it sounds fine. Increase the compression ratio, decrease the fuel mixture. Now, I think 63 horsepower is like exactly the amount we can use. And that's literally all we'll go for. And then this one, I think baffle exhaust is fine. We'll just do 63 in the nose. Not too much engine tuning is needed for this car. We'll hear how it sounds in automation, but of course, in BeamNG, it's going to sound even better than this. Now, if we take off the mufflers for a second here. To have mufflers or no mufflers, that's the question here. Oh, I like that. What about no cat? And what about like race? No cats and race intake? Does that sound even better? Let's hear it. That sounds pretty dang good. Performance intake is fine. We'll use a catalytic converter and one straight through muffler. Like, just tubular exhaust sounds reasonable. Longitudinal rear-wheel drive, of course. A 5-speed manual. Yeah, this thing's not doing 300 kilometers an hour. 180 is like more than enough. I think that's like the actual limit for Japanese cars as well. So like 180 kilometers an hour is fast enough. We'll give it a limited slip diff. It's gonna be a sporty, fun car. Sports tires. 235s is too big for this thing. We're only making like 63 horse. 215s front, 205s. No, 215s rear, 205s front is fine. We'll go for a little bigger tires. And we'll leave it on 14s probably. 14s, honestly, maybe 15s. Maybe a little smaller. No, 15s is fine. Okay. Alloy wheels. This thing is going to be very light, hopefully. Vented discs. We'll go for one piston, please. And some more vented discs. We'll go for fully clad for some better fuel economy and nothing else. Ford interior. Basic A-track. We don't need power steering, I guess. I don't think. Just ABS. And a bit of basic 80s safety. And then progressive, adaptive. And we'll just do a quick sport tune. I will tune it more later because the sport tune by default is pretty bad. So right off the hop here with nothing really tweaked at all. 1,600 pounds, near 60, in around 10 seconds, which honestly is just not bad. We can do better than that though. 10.5. It's really cool looking. I dig it. I dig it. So I think the car is pretty much, the basics are done. It has some pretty good G's. It's got some roll angle. I will tune the suspension because it's still pretty unremarkable. I'll give it a bit of a wing too. The top speed is pretty mediocre, not gonna lie, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do, like every car, is design this build. This thing's going to be a pretty simple, little cutesy, fun Kei car. And then we're going to look over the car real quick. Then we'll hop into BeamNG, we'll tune this thing to 20,000, now not 20,000, 15,000 RPM, and we'll see how that sounds. So sit back, relax, guys, and I hope you enjoy. Alright, so we're starting to design our sporty 15,000 or so RPM Boxster Kei car. The front end is going to have these sort of pop-up headlights similar to a Mitsubishi 3000 GT, the pre-facelift one. Actually, the whole front end is going to be quite similar to a 3000 GT pre-facelift or a Mitsubishi GTO if you live in Japan, with these sort of integrated turn signals on the front bumper strip at the front end of the car, with a sort of integrated badge there as well. And then what we're going to have is a three-piece sort of grille on the bottom of the front fascia with areas for fog lamps on the side. I just have it laid out there. I don't actually put fog lamps in the grille. I put fog lamps over top. We're just pretty much adding the grille fixtures here and there to make the grille a little more happy as well, because this thing's got to be just a happy little sporty kind of car, right? Nothing too special, nothing too fancy, with the fog lamps going in there now. And then adding just a simple hood scoop on top, just to add that little extra oomph on the vehicle. The wheels, I stick with a 5-spoke design, which I think look quite good on the body of this car, with a simple mirror, simple door handle, and wipers that just would not go on, so I ended up just throwing out the whole wiper idea, adding a turn signal on the side, and then going to the back, having a similar rear fascia, rear end entirely to the front fascia of the vehicle, with just two individual taillights that are similar to the headlights in shape, but of course they're not pop-up taillights because that's not a thing. Adding some integrated exhaust tips, and then just a strip on bumper on the back with a simple sort of dog lip, just a lip of a wing, sure, a lip of a wing in the back there, with the integrated sort of front splitter that's actually it's invisible, just so we can have the extra downforce in front. Then adding a few more details here and there, like the actual badging for the vehicle, and then I'll go on the back after that and work on the actual badging of the car on the rear, etc. There's not too much more left to do in the build. So we end up naming the car the SF66 Spec S. S for Sport, F for front engine, 66 for 6.6 or 0.66 liter, 660cc, and Spec S because that's just a sporty sounding name, is it not? And then adding a few things here or there. And in front of us is the 1992 SF66 Spec S. And that is all for the build of the SF66 Spec S. It's kind of a mouthful to say. That's okay, though. So this is the Suzuki Cappuccino body, as far as I know. The front end is similar to a Mitsubishi 3000 GT. This is the pre-facelift GT body, or the GT front end, should I say, which I use on another car I built for a Discord challenge. I do Discord challenges every couple weeks on my Discord, so make sure to join. Link in the description. It's got these pop-up headlights with sort of daytime running lights down here, turn signal built in with a fog lamp, and then we just have a sort of happy grille in the middle, and a black plastic kind of bar going all the way across, and a bit of a Subaru kind of trademark hood scoop or hood intake, air intake, with a Boxer 4 engine, of course, underneath the hood, and it sounds quite great. On the side here, we have some 5-spoke wheels, some simple, good-looking design. One sort of, I guess, like a heat extractor for the brakes, I guess is what that is, sure. Turn signal on the side, a simple mirror and door handle, nothing too fancy. The back, we have SF66 and Spec S badges. A similar rear fascia to the front. We have a bit of a spoiler back there. We also have an invisible spoiler up front that you can't really see. And dual exhaust, because this is a high performance in quotations vehicle. 0 to 60 in around 10 and 11 seconds. It's not great. Weighs under 1,600 pounds, 63 horsepower. I did a bit of tweaking on the engine though. So it revs to only 10,000 RPM now instead of 12. I saved a bit of money by lowering down the top end quality sliders just a bit because I wanted the price to be a bit cheaper. 30,000 or 36 or whatever it was a bit expensive. Now we're down to 23,000, which is much more reasonable. Partial aluminum, still monocoque, and everything else is, I think, the same. All that's left to do is hop into BeamNG. We're going to hear exactly how fantastic a 15,000 RPM, because it's going to rev to 15,000 in BeamNG. You best believe that. It's going to rev really high in BeamNG, and hopefully it'll be kind of quick as well. So I'll see you guys there in just one sec. Okay, so we're finally in BeamNG.Drive. This is Automation Test Track Handling Circuit. I've done this course a million times. I know, but this car is something else on the track, especially on a twisty, windy handling circuit like this one. It is so much fun to do. The car looks great, actually. BeamNG, this is like a really great looking car in BeamNG. As you can hear, we'll just start it off right here. 15,000 RPM. It basically makes peak power like right about there too. It makes about 63 horsepower from like 8,000 or 9,000 RPM to like 15,000, so it makes around the same horsepower all the way through. Sounds pretty good. It's a little quiet, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little quiet. I might turn a lap. We'll hop into a quick lap. So we're in first person. We're gonna do just one lap in first person and the other in third person. We'll just do just a 2 lap of the handling circuit. So I played around with the engine sound just a little bit, as well as the gearing just a little bit as well, because it makes 63 horsepower, but over 15,000 RPM. There's not really much torque, especially in the high revs. You just got no torque at all. It's a pretty gutless engine, not gonna lie, but it sounds pretty cool, and it's definitely a unique selling feature of the SR66. Look at this. It cuts these corners so smoothly. A little bit of oversteer. As long as we don't bring it too quickly around, it'll kick out. Yeah, we're fine. Look at that. That was nice. Staying in third. It likes to stay in third a lot, but in this track, you don't need to switch gears too much. We'll go to second gear. Braking here. Second it is. And to first. Yep. It goes down to 12,000, 15,000 to 12,500 from first to second, and then down to like 11,000 down to 11,000 from second to third. It'll do 100 kilometers an hour, just over 100, I think, in third gear, which is pretty obscene. It's 70, like 75 in second, which is pretty low. Very short gear still, which is a lot of fun. Actually, I'm a bit shorter because we have a lot more revs to play with, and it's a lot of fun. Because in this car especially, like, I've got my foot to the floor pretty much the entire time. A lot more than any average car. We're gonna brake a little bit here, though. You can really just sort of go flat out in this car. It's definitely a slow car, fast kind of car. You just drive a slow car. Like, this is a slow car, 0 to 60. I'm not sure what the 0 to 60 is with the revs, but I imagine it's not much better than 10 seconds, which is pretty pathetic for any car. It's a Kei car, though. Go up into third person right after this corner. There we go. A little slower there just to get third person on. We'll hear the back exhaust. It's not bad. It sounds a bit buzzy for sure around the 11,000 mark where we're just sitting the whole time. But in the low revs especially, it sounds quite good. It's a boxer. I'm not sure if I like the top line either, but like when you're rigging out, when you're really rigging out, it feels it's a lot of fun. I want to do another build at some point with like I originally wanted to do actually a 20,000 RPM V10. It was gonna be like a modern, pretty much a race car for the road, like a BAC mono, but with a, you know, naturally aspirated V10 or V8 flat plane crank or V12, something like that. But I ended up I literally recorded the entire video and everything. Everything was all recorded, ready to be edited, and I just deleted everything. I'm like, I'm not happy with this design, and I just tossed it out. So we're here. This car was a lot more fun to drive than the other one. It was just a lot more fun to make, and I'm really much more happy with this. A pretty slow second lap time. That's only because we were in third person, taking it nice and slow. Still my best lap ever, apparently, my best 2 laps ever. We'll go to free roam. The brakes on this thing are really good, though, so you can see the power band. So it makes peak torque around 6,000–7,000. Unlike peak horsepower still. It's about 63. It's about 63, actually. It's a little more than 63. So it's technically not a Kei car. It goes over 63 horsepower. It's a little more only. We'll say it's underrated from the factory then, sure. But definitely a lot of fun of a car. It's a lot of fun to drive around. Basically a Mazda Miata, but like way lighter. And like, is it a better power to weight ratio than a Miata? I don't think so. Miata's got like, what, 170, 180 horsepower now? 160, 170 horsepower, something like that. Weighs mid-2s or mid-low 2000s, and we were like 1,500 pounds. Well, yeah. I mean, this is a pretty low power to weight ratio, not gonna lie. It's pretty bad, but a lot of fun to drive this car. Very neutral. If you guys want a link, let me know in the comments down below, and then I'll get a link up for you guys. With this BeamNG file. It's definitely a lot of fun to play around with the high revs. I just basically edited the JBeam stuff. Yeah, kind of a different video. Not really that different, but like, you know, playing around with some more BeamNG stuff. And I plan to do some actual, again, more BeamNG stuff in the future. I might do a live stream later today, so stay tuned for that. Join the Discord, of course, linked in the description. If you guys like the video, leave a like down below. It means a lot to me. Oh, we're good sideways. Oh boy, we're fine, we're fine. Okay, we're great. Yeah, check out my other videos. I'll link some in the description, why not? And, yeah, subscribe if you guys want to see more automation and BeamNG content and other car stuff in general. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I guess, I'll see you guys next time.